Hello everyone, good morning. Today is December 11th, 2025 at 12:34 p.m. Today I'm going to talk to you about a few things. One, the title of the video should be, well, it's related to how evil takes over the heart. I'll figure out the title, but it is related to how evil takes over the heart. Oh, and what I personally, and these are all my personal opinions and perspectives, okay? Because I remember in the Dark Alliance review, it's a documentary by Weidner and a couple other individuals that I cannot remember their names, I'm sorry. But it is in still on my channel, the review of the Dark Alliance, and it has to do with Corey Goode. One of the things in there that Jay Weidner said was about Corey Goode doing black magic. And that is a strong accusation, okay? But I'm going to try to express what I thought about over time since I saw that, okay? What that means to me, what I think that is. But first, because these following videos, the one about Hollywood Roses, the one about, I've recorded one about meeting Gene Simmons at the House of Blues, and then Scarlett Johansson and Josh Hartnett at the Del Taco. So with these, okay, there's a few goals that I have with this. One, I'd like to talk about the whole celebrity thing a little bit. Like I said, I believe I said that we were going to even lean into the whole secret transgender agenda within Hollywood and stuff like that, okay? So it's going to be a bit of a longer video. Not like 20 minutes like I've been trying to keep my story sharing. But again, there's two things I want to go over with you first. Number one, I've said this about my channel before, that when you click on my videos, it's almost like you've stopped over randomly, right? Because I thought about going in, putting on makeup and whatnot, getting dressed up, but I was inspired to speak now. And if you were to stop by, I wouldn't be like, hold on, let me go put my makeup on. You know what I mean? Like I'm clean, I brushed my teeth, all that. I went for a walk. I had 2 donuts for breakfast, but that's okay. It is ridiculously cold out. I believe it's like minus 11, minus 12. It's not showing the temperature on my computer at the moment. It's the stupid, the stock exchange stuff. So when it does, I'll let you know exactly how cold it is. But it is pretty cold. I had to dress out there like an Eskimo, like I do all the time. 2 pairs of pants, 2 sweaters, all that. We had quite a bit of snow, so it's really pretty out, but it is quite cold recently. So I'm doing well. One of the things I want to report to you is that, well, I think it was December 4th, I went and I had gotten some weed. And at first, I did not smoke as I was, and I kept it under control, but I had a feeling that was going to be a mistake because now I'm back to how I was before. So don't get too disheartened about it. Like, don't let it, get you down. If I can conquer it once, I can conquer it again, and I'm confident that I can do that. But I told you that I'd always be honest, so if you did stop over, you'd be seeing me doing it. So I wouldn't be able to deny it, and I wouldn't anyway, right? So I'll let you know that. Okay. So let's start off with, because when I talked about this with Axl Rose, I was so caught up in the memory of it that I forgot to share more of the lesson and what I learned from that, because I talk about that one in my, let's just say, second episode of my Talking About Hollywood series, okay? But the lesson, okay, so I said that at one point, and I was there at the time, the band members were invited over to Axl Rose's house, okay? Now, there is a video that I posted below where you can see Colby and Erica. I think it might have been back in 2012, and then in their band with Hollywood Roses at the time. Not the same band members, of course, that were there when I was living in California, but they were very good. They had excuse me. They had some really good musicians playing for them, and I liked their sound in 2012. It was good. But I will always, of course, remember it the way it was when I was there. I did. I went to Tim Hortons and I got a extra large steep tea because I ran out of milk. And it was a nice experience. And I got 2 delicious donuts. One a chocolate glazed and a sour cream glazed. And I ate both of them. So, yeah. So, to get to the point of it, okay, so they were invited. Oh, right, fuck. I skipped a part. So, in that little interview that I posted below, it was on a Songbird channel, a music channel, but they did like a little documentary type of interview thing. It was posted below on the Hollywood Roses video. And in it talks about where, well, Erica says, you know, that one time they had to ask Colby to fill in for Axl and sing because Axl was just pissed off somewhere. He just went somewhere, you know, being, well, irresponsible and not showing up for his band and that show. So Colby did, and they got along well. And there's footage of Colby hanging out with Steven Adler and a couple other people. I looked at it. So now I'm not trying to, you know, make Axl Rose look like a, you know, a dirtbag or whatever. That's not the point. Okay, even though this was a dirtbag move, it is an example of it doesn't matter who you are. Okay, hold on. So you can kind of see why. Colby was a really great singer, and I don't think Axl liked that. And this is just by feeling, in my opinion. Okay, based on my experience of how, you know, things went. Because it's not like they were talking shit about Axl then. You know, like I said, Colby handled it really well. And I remember that Colby was like, no, you guys go. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Because really, it said everything about Axl Rose and nothing about Colby. Because Colby's a really nice guy. You know? He really, really is. He's the nicest man with a heart of gold. And that's how he could sing like that. Because he was singing from his heart and soul. You know? So, the other band members, of course they didn't go. They weren't going to do that. Even though none of them, I don't think any of them, had met Axl. They met the other members, but they didn't meet Axl. But if they were going to do that to the lead singer of their band, they didn't want to meet him. They're like, no, that's fine. I think they were all, honest to God, disappointed. Like, oh, you know? But they took it well, but it was a really sad thing. And I mean, of course, like, it was such a shitty thing. Like I said, it was so disrespectful of Axl Rose to do to them. Because it's almost like he wanted to, you would cause, holy shit, someone just sneezed so loud outside in the hallway. Bless you. You would think that, like, you wouldn't want to cause chaos between the band members like that. But I think that kind of behavior was probably what destroyed Guns N' Roses. You know what I mean? His behavior like that. And I mean, not like everybody's perfect, but that kind of bull, or just not showing up to your show. You know? And so I was thinking about it again this morning, and I was like, shit, I should have said that. But it's some kind of backwards world, you know? Because really, ideally, Colby deserved what Axl had. even though he could have gotten that. But just wait now. If I was sitting here with him now, and he'd be like, you know what? Like, even if he said, because I don't even think he would, because he would probably say that he was good with what he had, because when people came out to see him, they loved him, his singing. It didn't matter if he was in a tribute band. They enjoyed the shit out of that show. And Colby was such a wonderful person that when he sung, you could feel that, like energy, frequency, and vibration in his music. And that is what brought people out to see him, I think that a lot of people knew that Axl Rose could be an asshole. And it's a shame, because he could have invited them all over and took that opportunity to get to know Colby and be like, you know what? This guy's not so bad. I was being stupid for being jealous or whatever it was, being all butthurt. But he didn't. And so I just wanted to put that part in there, I guess if you don't understand the lesson, like I said, you can have so much power and so much success. And honestly, if you're not ready for it, you will F it up. Or it will F you up. And I think that it goes to your head so much that it will change you, but you don't realize. Yeah, I've seen it happen a lot. That's why I said power must be shared. And you know what I think about all the time? The ring of power. In Lord of the Rings. Remember, one ring to rule them all? And it's not like I haven't been tested by the darkness, and I sure might be will again one day. And it reminds me of when she accepts that ring off Frodo. Remember? When they're in Lothlorien? I think that's what it's called. And she goes all dark, and she's like, oh, terrible, and blah, 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 oh. And then afterwards, she's like, damn, take that back. Oh, frig. I'm glad I passed that. I'm going into the West. See you later. You remember that? Yeah. Because you got to be able to resist that and understand what that is, Just like the divine creator, the darkness is always looking for a way to take over. Any host, to be a mouthpiece and speak. So, and a lot of the times I think that it can be so deceiving and misleading. Like I said, good things will start happening. You'll start getting money. You'll start getting deals. And you think, oh, this must be the divine creator. No. And that's the thing. That's the one thing about Colby, is that it's not that he wouldn't be able to handle Hollywood, but he was too good for it. He was too good for it. A lot of those people, I mean, not all of them, okay? And that's the thing about it, too, is that not all of those people are vile and evil, doing the spirit cooking and all that fucked up shit. They're not. They may know of it. They may know about it, but, I mean, when you get to a certain level and you find out about it, like, what exactly are you supposed to do? Yes, you can leave, and some of them do. Shia LaBeouf is a great example of that. Yeah. And I talk about him in one of my videos, too, that I've already recorded, okay? Days previous. But yeah, it was, I think it was December. It wasn't because of the emails. It was, again, because I had a bit of it was very releasing, though, this type of panic attack. I guess you could call it a bit of a freak out. I recorded it, and I have it in parts, and I dealt with it pretty well, but it showed me that there is still a part of my emotional center that can be triggered with that quite a bit. So, and I think it's important, well, it definitely needed to be expressed. I can't say that I'm not nervous for it to be seen, because it is pretty intense, I would say, but I handled it well. And I expressed myself pretty well. So, but that was the day really that I was like, I really need to go and get some weed. And I did. So let's see. So I talked about the whole Axl Rose thing, about power. It's really important because it says power corrupts. It does. It goes to your head. You can see this as a prime example with David Wilcock, especially. And we're going to get to the part about the different types of spirits. Spirits of greed. Ow, shit, sorry. I didn't actually hear it, but that was probably loud. Greed, pride, envy, lust, wrath, gluttony, and all of that, okay? And I know, yes, it is the 7 deadly sins, but we're going to look at it in a different perspective, okay? Because all these spirits have different appetites, let's say, okay? Like I was on Stephen Cambian's channel. He started talking about dark side Phil, I think that's what he's called. And Dark Side Phil started saying something about how he can't help begging for money. Like it's almost, it sounded like what it was. I know this sounds crazy, but a spirit of greed. And he also said that he was going to stop doing that or whatever. Begging for money the way that he does, almost every day on Twitch or whatever, begging for donations. Like it's his full-time job, And I know I ask for donations, but it's because I need to, only out of need, not out of greed, okay? But that's what I thought when he said that. I was like, oh, that sounds like a spirit of greed. So I'm going to talk about my perspective and my feelings and opinions on that. And then I'm probably going to have to put that in the video. I debated on it because it's not that Gene Simmons' video isn't totally done, but I figured out after I was done the video and I was looking up stuff about it, oh, what the hell's going on with my computer? Sorry about that. I just noticed that it was like slowing down. I don't have anything else open. Sorry. But the House of Blues closed down in like 2015. They closed it down. They moved its location, I guess, but that was a really what they call iconic location. And it's not even there anymore. But I had the kind of honor of being there, because there's been a lot of shows played there by a lot of people. Prince played there a couple times. Yeah. So, but it's gone now. It's shut down. That sucks, eh? So, let me just pause for a minute, regroup my thoughts. And when I come right back, you're not even going to notice I'm gone that long at all. But when I come back, we will talk about how I feel what black magic is exactly and how people are using this in willpower, intention, or psychic attack type of thing that, because prayer is a type of energy, frequency, vibration that you're sending out too. But it's not an attack. It's the opposite. It's a blessing. Curse, blessing, curse, blessing. Jedi, Sith. We'll talk about that. Just give me 1 second. What I think that is. Because it's not people walking around in black hoods lighting the candles. You say, it's not that. Okay? It's not. Right back. Well, it can be, but just hold on. People are just being dramatic. You don't need to put that on. Hold on. Hi again. Okay, so what do I feel the difference between quote-unquote white magic and black magic? Okay? Because even praying for someone is a form of white magic, right? In terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, right? When you pray with a genuine heart, meaning it, with a genuine heart and mind, in spirit, all in unity, almost just like the heavenly, well, it depends on how you see it. So it's the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost for some people. For me, it's the Heavenly Mother and Father and the Holy Spirit. It's different. With all three of those things in alignment, that's why the number 3 and 33 and 333 and 9, 6 and 9 are important numbers. Like Nikola Tesla said, if you can understand the importance of 3, 6, and 9, you can figure out the secrets to the universe. And yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah. I don't think it's the only formula you need, but it's a helpful one. So when you're praying for somebody and you're praying for them for their wellness, like for instance, just recently, like I had taken a break from the Truthseekers channel with Stephen Cambian because watching some of that was really stressful for me. You know, it brought up kind of the trauma that I went through with it all, and I would get pretty upset. I was there the other night about the copyright strike thing because Corey Goode did that to him too, Stephen. But shit, I totally fucking forgot what I was going. Oh, fuck. Shit. See, this is why I don't like smoking weed. I do so much better when I don't, but that's okay. Oh, right. So I found out that not only was Stephen, I thought he was just ill, but he wasn't just sick, he had 2 brain surgeries. It's a big deal. So, of course, I was praying for him and, praying for his healing and his well-being, and all of that. And that is technically a form of white magic. I mean, really, magic, what that means is it's just a science that we don't understand. And energy, frequency, and vibration is something that a lot of people don't fully understand. Even me, I'm still learning. As I'm talking to you, I am still learning. But for how I feel about it, because I remember the stages of my life, where even up until recently, diarrhea is not so bad. So I say, I hope they get diarrhea. Well, technically, that's a black magic because it's wishing somebody uncomfortable circumstance, not necessarily harm, but it's still something that's negative. Like who wants diarrhea? Would you? I wouldn't. But I know when I've been upset, I have said stuff like this. Or I hope he burns right in hell. Again, it's a negative vibration and a form of dark wishing, dark well wishing, dark unwell wishing. And then I remember a stage in my life where I would wish what people would wish onto me back onto them. And I still see a lot of people do that. But really, when you think about it, what these people need is healing. So that they stop sending out those negative energies to harm people to begin with. Yeah, that's what will really stop it. I mean, clearly a person, like as I was saying about Jay Weidner saying, Corey Goode sent it out. Well, he probably is. Corey Goode is probably sitting around wishing bad things on others. But like I said, Jay didn't do anything to Corey. Corey's the guilty party there. But I don't think he sees himself that way. And again, these are just my opinions. The way I feel about it from seeing it on the outside and experiencing it as someone, I wasn't even there. It doesn't involve me, not really, but kind of. Because like I said, I watched Cosmic Disclosure. And I was wondering, what I needed to do to join the secret space program. And it was a struggle to be like, well, Corey Goode doesn't seem like the best role model. So am I doing something wrong? Anyway, it caused, some turmoil, pain, and confusion. I got through it, but still. But I don't know. I was thinking about it a lot today, clearly, and I wonder if Corey just thought that everybody knew that's what they were doing. I don't know. Like, I'm sure that they plotted it. And even if they did figure out that they didn't know, then they thought, oh, well, we could take advantage of them, make money. You know, it's certainly disappointing, to find out that happened, and it was probably even more so for the people involved, especially Jay and the ones, that had to be like, because they didn't know. They didn't know. Oh, I wonder why my computer's doing that. I think it's because it's so low on memory. I need a new one. But yeah, and so in that kind of terms, I could see him even around the full moon, lighting the candles. Maybe he thinks that he's the good side. That does happen. Because I said, evil doesn't know that it is. It thinks it's right and good and doing the right thing. And the other people are wrong. Just like in that scene with Anakin, thinking that the Jedi are evil. But that's the corruption of the mind and the heart. Almost like Black goo taking it over. It's symbolic and allegorical, right? Almost like, think about it this way. There's an indigenous story that they tell to express this. And it says that you have two wolves inside of you. A wolf that's white and one that's black, like light and dark, right? Like your light side and your dark side. Your shadow self and your higher self and all that, right? So with the wolves, and they're always fighting. And there actually is a reflection of that in Avatar: The Last Airbender when you learn about the first Avatar, Avatar 1. But he actually separates them from fighting. And it causes chaos within the whole world. It was an accident. He thought he was doing a good thing. But it ended up being a terrible thing. And then he had to merge with Raha, I forget. The light side merged with her in order to keep her alive because she was dying. And then that's how he becomes the Avatar and goes to fight the Dark One. Yeah. To create balance again. Yeah. But it's almost the same thing. So if you continuously feed your dark wolf, even if you don't know, because you're giving into your pain, you're giving into your anger, you're giving into your lust for power to be number one, And I think that and feel that a percentage of it was motivated by, the gain for money, but also status, fame, and power within the UFO community. Corey Goode's not the only one that has done this. There are many of them that are guilty of it. Elena Danant included, But I wonder if they realize, and you truly need to when I prayed for that, for Corey Goode to get the healing he needs so he stops acting like this, I meant it. Because that's the only thing that's going to stop him. I mean, we know, like if it was down to a Jedi battle between me and him, like the clip that I showed you, if you're in that type of energy, Obi-Wan knew he was going to jump too. So don't. But he isn't in his right mind. Anakin wasn't thinking clearly. And that's how they make mistakes. Like Corey was probably pissed off, put the copyright strike to me and Steven, probably somebody else. If all three of us fight it, you only need 3 and then you lose your channel. But he wasn't thinking. That's why I didn't file the reverse claim yet. I don't think Steven has either. I didn't check my email yet today, but I'm talking to him through email. And if there's one more person, that's it. And we all file against him, Corey Goode's Spear Being Alliance channel is done. That's why I haven't done it yet. Mercy, compassion. That's what Jesus would do. Yep. It's not fake. Like, for me, and Steven's not fake either. But the thing about it is I know people might be confused. Oh, well, was she pretending before? Oh, my stupid ass computer. Sorry, I just see it stalling sometimes. But no, I was pretending before. Certain things require certain energies and an attitude, and when you're projecting your energy so people feel it. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just something that's a necessity. And there are so many different parts of me. I'm still that girl that loves Squishmallows and Sailor Moon, even though I'm like punk ass bitch. You know, neither one of those things is fake. It's all me. If you were to come over and hang out with me, I'm exactly the same as I am in real life, as I am on this channel. I do the funny fake English accent with, oh, Martha. I do all that shit. None of that's fake. That's why I didn't like acting, because I felt like it didn't feel as real and genuine for me as to fake these types of emotions and feelings. It was kind of difficult for me to do. Like, it's easier for me to be naturally funny, right, than to force myself to be funny. You know? It's not like I feel a little differently about it today. I wonder if I would have any kind of skill in that sense. I don't know. I find myself wondering that, you know, because I would have loved so bad to be in a live action Sailor Moon or a live action Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy one, because that hasn't been done yet. I mean, not with like, you know, like how they put on Avatar: The Last Airbender with their little Netflix series there. That was really good. And so it would be cool to do like a Final Fantasy thing, you know? Because that really hasn't been done yet. But anyway, I don't want to digress all over the place, but what was I saying? Right, about the whole dark side thing, you feed your shadow self. Yeah. So Corey Goode gave in to his lower aspects of self. Like, that man doesn't even know me. Like, did he even see the video where I tried to appeal to his heart and soul? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he was so wound up about the deposition that he didn't even look, you know? It's so crazy because that's the one person I had kind of settled my beef with, you know? Without ever even talking to him. Like, when I heard him tell the truth in the deposition and I came to understand it, and you know what? He's right. It did help me a little bit. But I think it comes to a point where, well, I think they have no choice now. It was helpful until a point, you know? And I think that they've all reached the point of no return with it, in a sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of lived its purpose. The kind of teaching through storytelling and this and that, you know? If you don't know, so they've used a lot of symbolism and allegory and made creations, like he said, when in his deposition. He's a creator, he made content, but he's using some of his spiritual life and adding on to it, because I doubt that he remembers everything, just like me. I'm sure that they remember bits and pieces of it and have an idea and a feeling about what that is, you know, an understanding about soul school and hierarchies, but, you know, they've kind of decided to, well, play some games to make some money, you know what I mean? To put it just bluntly and shortly and quickly, you know? But so Corey Goode that night, when he copyright striked me, he fell into his lower aspect, his shadow self, his dark side, his Sith, instead of being in the Jedi and doing the right thing. You know, what is the right thing? The right thing would be like, you know, you can't stop that deposition. It's everywhere. You know, it's public record. You know? And it's true, Stephen Cambian does not have to give up his sources. He doesn't have to. But somebody sent it to him. Somebody that had it, that they didn't steal it from anywhere. But he doesn't have to say who did it. But it was probably somebody involved in legal proceedings, or, you know, maybe a staff of the court. We don't fucking know. I swear, I don't know. I'm just throwing out guesses, right? But they would have to be somebody that had access to it and that legally had access to it, to work with it, to review it, you know? Uh-huh. So if they chose to, it could have been Corey Goode's lawyer himself. We don't fucking know. He probably thought, you know what? This guy's fucked over so many people. Why not? I'm going to email it out. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying this is, how my feeling opinion could be's what ifs, Because I seriously don't know. I'm not like Stephen Cambian's best friend or anything, for fuck's sake. No. But he was nice enough to help me out and work with me on this, and reach out like that. Because I ran right to him. Because I knew I went to him in plain sight too. I was like, oh fuck, because I know that they would know what to do. I'm smart in some areas, but like paperwork and math and money and shit, oh my god, that is not my forte. Not at all. If it came down to it and they're like, Lacey, say like a spiritual test at the end of the world, like I've fallen into another dimension and I'm standing between two doors, okay? And they're like, Lacey, I don't know, some angel or something. Just imagine with me. And like, okay, so you can go through door A, and in there you have to do a math exam. Or door B, you have to fight a whole fucking group. Like at least. But I get my powers. At least 100 demons. I'm going through the demon door, y'all. I'm not taking that math exam. I will fail, and I'm going to be real with you. I know I will. It's not low self-confidence. I'm terrible. I don't know what it is. I feel like I got a math disability, and I'm not ashamed to say so. It's bad. Like, I can do some, I can get through it, but oh my God. I tried to do math in my head earlier by the... what was it that I was trying to add all together? The date or... Fuck, I don't remember. But I thought, without using my fingers, it added up to 16. No, it was 14. I had to use my fingers again. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. Yep. And it doesn't matter. Weed or no weed, it's that bad. So I don't care. You can come at me for that anytime you want. Oh, you don't know math. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to hurt my feelings because it's a true fact. I suck at math. So I'm going to take this door, thank you. Door B with the demons. I'll be right back. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't care if I'm like limping out. Like, I did it. Oh my God. Hopefully I have all my limbs intact and my guts aren't hanging out, but Anyway. I know I digress, but I do that without weed too. But I'm sure that's what happened. And you know why I know, okay? It's because I almost became a monster myself in this life. Yeah. And it was really hard. It was really hard after everything that I've experienced, and wondering like, why me? Why? Like, why did I, not now, because I've done a lot of healing, especially over this month. It really has been a month of miracles, but in a sense on the inner miracles, like it may not look like much on the outer part of my life, but on the inside, it's been phenomenal. And like I had a moment where it was when I was making the little video with Avatar and the chakras and the root and how it connects with the elements with that, its locations and all of that. That really was a really good teaching tool for me. And I think I came across it again because I saw that little clip. I mean, I seen it in Avatar, but then I realized that people were using it as a teaching tool about the chakras with the guru part. Banana and Listen, I kind of have a weak stomach for some shit, and I do not know if I could drink down. I'd probably puke it right out like The Exorcist. Banana and onion juice. Ugh. Oh, and then he burps later and goes, oh, it tastes like banana. Oh, God, oh, fuck, that's gross. I honestly, burps for me are worse than farts. I'm so sorry, I'm digressing all over the place. But it's because it's a little bit uncomfortable for me to talk about, I've never hid it from people. I've always been honest on my channel and talked about it. But it's something that, and it's not like I was a terrible, evil, awful, person causing a whole bunch of chaos, but Like I said, there's been times when I've wished ill will on others. Even with that twin flame guy, like, I wished so many times that he would get back all the pain that he gave out to others. Because everything else that I had tried with him did not work. I mean, you guys, I tried so hard with this fella. That's what that one video is about. I really went through it. And ever since I made that video, and I was going to release it on the 14th. Yeah. There's reasons for that, because that was the last time I saw him at Pizza in 2014. And it's almost like a memorial to it, because I put it to rest. And that's what kind of allowed my chakras to open up and express themselves and kind of be unblocked by certain things, shame and guilt, especially when I said about that fire salamander. Oh, did I draw her in here? Oh, no, it's my other one. But about my sexuality and the shame and guilt and stuff, and like feeling like, because I'd almost gotten to the point where I was in an energy where, sex was filthy, dirty, and wrong, almost like it was because of my celibacy. But anyway, I got into a place where it was kind of unhealthy and it had blocked my chakra in a way, So I had this kind of cleansing experience, and then I'm experiencing this month of miracles, and I guess now it's time to use my superpowers to save the world. I always said that, when I prayed, I'd be like, if it's not me, or, because I always volunteered to help save the world. I knew that I wouldn't be alone. I didn't want to be the only one. But I said, if not me, somebody else, because I knew how much it was needed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, if I'm the only one that can do it, then so be it. I'll use my powers for what I can. Because I always said I may not have the same superpowers as I did in my last life. With the power of lightning and the elements and shouldn't be able to shapeshift and all that. But I have a different set of powers. And, I guess it's a different world, right? So I don't need the same ones that I did in the last world I was in. If you don't know my past life, I remember, what I know as now as the antediluvian age. But I always called it the Atlantean age when I was young. But I think we're in the Atlantean age now. I haven't quite got that part right. Quite right. Organized in my head yet. But that is the truth, that I always called it the Atlantean age. Oh, my computer is stalling again. Okay, let me just, all right, so where are we? So in my last life, before I turn this off, in my last life, how I ended up from going from a higher dimensional to a lower dimension here, okay? Technically, I'd be a fallen angel, but not in the same energy, okay? From a higher dimensional to a lower, right? You fell, you descend, right? But you're making your way back up. That's what it means to, that's what ascension is, okay? To ascend back up to a higher dimensional level from which we mostly came from. Okay, there are some newer souls, but a lot of us have been reincarnated a lot here, okay? So in my last life, throughout that, I remember a point where everything changed and we all started attacking and annihilating each other, ending each other, okay? In that world. And that was a truly unfortunate thing to happen. But what happened is that I thought I was doing the right thing, by taking part in all of that. And some things have changed, but the same things is that I couldn't understand why the others were fighting, and then I got involved, and then, I remember it briefly. In my experience, you'll only remember what you need to heal in this lifetime, even if it's not the same, you need to understand it, heal it, process it, and let it go and grow from it. You use it as your fertilizer to begin anew and do that lesson right, And again, I was tested with like the calling in this life. And at one point in my life, I thought that was the right thing to do. Because again, I had a very different definition of evil than the beings that presented me with it did. The reason why it's relevant is because when they told me about the culling, I immediately remembered that Corey Goode had talked about a culling. Like, they were picking people, like an elite group of these people in the secret space program or whatever, but it's people that reach higher consciousness. Yeah. And that, like, but I don't know, what was always confusing is, like, why would you want to make up stories and bullshit around like the cabal and the elites do? Again, I apologize for my computer's freezing. Hopefully it doesn't do that in the finished product video, but yeah, so why would you want to do that and be like them? Hidden in plain sight, symbolism and allegorical stuff. Change your perspective type of games. That always confused me. It was almost like they were doing that. Say, oh, look how much I can mess around and show my intelligence and hide it. Huh? That doesn't seem very genuine, truthful, and honest. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if these people realized that. Like, so selling books is more important than being truly genuine, truly honest, and real. There's nothing undignified that I'm doing here. And Elena Dunn made this post about victims don't need to cry about how much they've been hurt, and they value their pride and dignity or whatever. What about me says I don't have any pride or dignity? I think my energy speaks for itself. Like, do you guys actually think that if it was go time, the aliens are coming down, the ships are landing, okay, it's time, it's go time, we're gonna kick the cabal's ass, it's time to go. You think I'm gonna be like, hang on, let me go put on a nicer outfit and get my makeup on? What? No. First of all, there's no time for that. And if you think like that, you're definitely not ready for something like that. That's totally bizarre to me. So, like, because it's been proven, like, Corey and David Wilcock made up cosmic disclosure. They just sat there and plotted like it was some kind of creational story. And they probably thought, oh, we're teaching people. But teaching them about what, though? I can't even remember anything they talked about, really. Mars programs. Listen, again, the planet Mars, it has a place in the chakras. The red planet, the root chakra that's based upon survival and all that, and fear. And what did they cause? The boogeyman, the evil reptilians, the cabal, fear? I think a lot of people are afraid about that. Oh, the cabal's going to come and kill me. Oh, the reptilians are going to get me. No, I don't think so. It was so crazy because I need to turn this off and save it, and we're doing pretty good. So right before Corey Goode made his copyright strike attack on me, I realized the video was shit and I didn't want this fucking computer. I didn't want to use this video, okay? But I remember one thing that I said in it was, if the cabal's out there, come on then. Come and get me. Come and attack me. And then Corey Goode did his copyright strike. I was like, because it's Kabbalah, mystic Judaism. Play on words. Symbolism and allegory. That's why I said I'll kick getting your intellectual ass. It's my intellectual property, Corey Goode says. I'm going to kick his intellectual ass. And everybody else is who thinks they're going to keep doing this. Because it ain't happening no more. We are not going into 2026 the same as we have been since I have been involved in this since like 2010. Hell no. Nope. And I don't think anybody anybody wants to continue this fucking nonsense. They don't. So is that it? We do have one more little part with the spirits of the 7 deadly sins, and how I start to recognize different spirits and how they affect people. So with Corey's behavior, it seems like a being of wrath, right? And I even drew this being with a black eye because he's always fighting. Look, wait, can you see it? He's always fighting. Wrath. It's backwards, but it says wrath. Okay? So these are all the little spirits. And this one's pride. Do you see what he looks like he's wearing a crown? Yeah. Envy, green with envy. It's not really jealousy that's a problem. Because lots of people, I think, I was even jealous of Helen Morris. You know? Because she's hanging out with Claudio. Okay? Fucking, I was like, and then I had to deal with the fact, like, she's a ghost. You know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm jealous of a fucking ghost. You know? But it's envy that you have to worry about. Envy is where you want to, like, you would, so me and Elena Denon are running away from a xenomorph alien, and she makes it through the door before me. That bitch would press that button. Oh, I don't know what happened to her. Oh, she did not make it through. That's her. Just to get rid of me and take my place with anything that I would gain. Like that shit she did with the Anunnaki from my Telegram page. Yeah. Or, oh, Valnek's gay. He left the galaxy. Megan Rose has been compromised. Implant got fried with the lightning strike. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah. That's what that shit is. That's this. Maybe a combination. Let's see. Maybe some pride, envy, greed, maybe some wrath. You got a couple there. You know? But there was a few signs that showed me there was something going on, because I've talked about this before and I think about it every time. About Thorhan strangling the Grey to death. Let me go and just save this recording. I'll go and grab that book. I'll show you about that, because it was an emotional reaction. And with the abilities that these beings have, there was no need to do that. If you know anything about psychology and different ways in true crime shows, I've saw that people will end certain people in certain ways. Like, this is why some things are called a crime of passion. You know, a husband will strangle the wife, and it's because there's emotion behind that. And so it was very telling. Even, why would you need a gun? That's kind of like Star Trek-y, fantasy-ish. They don't need that. I do have a dream experience where I manifested a gun. The garden gate gun, that really pretty gun that had no trigger, even though you have to hold it like that still. I just always do that, but this is like, you know, bang, bang. But it had no trigger. And when I thought fire, it fired. And I fired through the floor, and I was like, oh, whoops. You know, and I'm looking like through the hole in the floor, and it was like a little glowing bullet hole that went right through the floor. Almost like a glowing, like, laser. You know what I mean? But that is directed energy from the mind. You instant manifest. I instant manifested the gun, because I was in a situation where it was in my apartment, but I'm pretty sure maybe a fight was going to ensue, or I was learning how to use my spirit body in some way, whatever. But I had manifested this gun. And so I do have experience with these types of things. And so I know that there's so many different ways to eliminate something like that, especially in the spirit realm. I mean, strangling somebody takes long as hell. He should have just broke its neck, but he didn't. And that was a big tell of emotional instability. Couldn't keep your shit together. Strangled him. So I think that I've covered this a lot. What I think about what black magic is, like if you're sitting around wishing ill will, Even sometimes, like if you think people are hurting you, the reason why they're hurting you is because they themselves are in pain. So in order to stop it effectively, you need to heal them. That's why I was using the whole Sailor Moon symbolism thing. If you want the Ghost Rider, you can have that. No problem. You know? I know there's a lot of beings out there that are itching for a little bit of that. You know? Yeah, give it to them! Some of that. You know? But we'll be right back. Oh, praying is the good way. Praying for healing, like how I was praying for Stephen. You know, I'm praying for protection, because goodness, we all know Corey Goode's going to be getting out the fucking candles at the fucking full moon. You know? My God. Bet she does. And I've seen evidence of it in the secret teachings, and it's the same. He calls it an esoteric religion. What's Manly P. Hall's stuff? What's Rudolph's side? That is all esoteric. Inner stuff, you know? But they think it's like this alliance that they've made about it. And I'm sure that they probably thought, oh, well, they either know or we could just take advantage of them because they don't know. And at any point, Corey's had all this time, but I think that admitting to what they did is going to be really bad. But if you had done it right away, you wouldn't have gotten to this point anyway. Gaia probably would have understood and worked with you about it. You might have had to go on TV and tell the truth that you lied to everybody, but it would have fixed it. You know? It would have fixed the fact that they had put this on TV for their subscribers. Can't you understand that? If he probably won't even watch it because my words, that he needs to hear, because he should have looked over my whole channel. You didn't see that video? I literally made an appeal. It says an appeal to the heart of Corey Goode. You didn't watch that? Of course not. No, because he was all taken over by his ego. I'm going to get her. I'm going to show her not to mess with me. I'll just do this one right here. That's going to teach her. Really? No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit behavior. Yeah. That's something else. Grown man. It's not the first time I've seen it, though. So, anyway, I'm trying not to take it personally. So, that's what I'm pushing the energy away. I'm not taking it personally, you know, because I understand why he did it. And that's why I wished him healing. Like, you need Jesus. Like, learn something. That's what the lessons there, that's what the teachings of Jesus were for. It doesn't matter if he's symbolic and allegorical. It's the teachings that mattered, and the Christ is real. Okay, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Bye.
I hope Serena's okay out there.
This is bad. It's getting colder by the minute. Queen Beryl was too strong for them. Luna, our scouts are doomed.
I can't believe we'll never see them again. Sailor Moon, you've just got to believe in yourself. Please, don't let the Negaverse win. Everyone's counting on you.
I hear you, Luna. I am not afraid anymore.
You should be!
Cosmic moon power! Here I stand in the night. Fight this evil. My present wand, the only light. Do not give up, Serena. You can do this. But I sense my friends are near. I'll draw from each the power I need. I am not letting you win this one, you witch. My friends are counting on me.
Hey, Serena, I'll help you with this assignment if you want.
You are so stubborn, Serena. Let us help or I'll never speak to you again.
Yeah, let us help you put her away. Still too many guys we gotta meet.
Let us help. We haven't known each other long enough for it to end yet. I do need all of you. Please, help me.
Negaverse.
With all our strength, the battle's won.
The universe is safe again thanks to you, my friends.
With all our love, we can't go wrong.
Finally, we have a chance for peace.
We have the strength to carry